Hello, my friends. God bless you, and welcome back to Traveler of the Wood. I have a very, very serious subject matter that I'd like to talk about today, and that is the subject of AI. I've realized now that in order to fit all of my thoughts on AI into video format, it won't just be one video. It's going to need to be a collection of videos. So I don't know where this video is going to fall in that collection. It might be the first. I don't know. But the dangers of AI are being incredibly downplayed. And this is because of massive amounts of propaganda from these AI companies convincing people that the AI is great and it's going to help them. It's going to revolutionize their life. And they just need a little bit more money, a little bit more RAM, a little bit more graphics cards in order to make it do what they're claiming it's going to do. But a lot of us know better than this, but there's one group of people that are essentially becoming the first victims of AI, and that is the boomers. Some of what I'm talking about today might seem a little humorous on the surface, but I assure you that I am being very serious when I talk about all of this. So please keep that in mind. Due to the computational nature of AI, the AI views the human psyche and the human psychology as a computer that can be hacked. That's exactly what all of this kind of stuff is. It's all about accumulating such a massive amount of data that they understand trends, they understand people individually, and they learn how to hack individual people to get something out of them. And boomers fall for it immediately. And if you're watching this right now and you're a boomer and you say, I wouldn't fall for this, you will, because this time is coming where it's going to understand you on a personal level so deeply that it will know exactly how to hack you. I'm honestly really embarrassed to tell this story, but it's an important story and it's relevant to all of this. So, a boomer family member of mine who is an elderly single male was just contacted by phone. I say just, this was a couple months ago. Was contacted by phone by a number that was like some little cutesy girl voice. And was like, oh, I've got the wrong number. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then started talking to him and started giving him the whole, hey, you seem really nice. We should keep up, this kind of stuff. Which for any normal person, that's a giant red flag, but boomers cannot process this. And this is because, okay, we're going to have to break down some boomer psychology throughout this video. And I apologize if I'm going to start jumping around. Boomers grew up in an era where a phone call usually meant something. There were scam calls, in the 80s and 90s, but not nearly to the level that it is now. And because of boomers growing up before an era of caller ID, when the phone rang, you answered it because it could be important. And just in my observation, boomers answer the phone no matter what their phone says. Their phone could say, scam likely, and they're going to answer it. I don't know why that is, but that's something that they do. So, I guess you could say boomers feel like the world is still trustworthy because they grew up in a trustworthy world. And it's not now, and they can't go over that hump. They can't realize that nothing is trustworthy anymore. I don't want that to sound like a black pill either, but it's true, I think. So, anyway, this person calls, convinces this boomer family member that they are just so excited to talk to someone new, and they just really hit it off well, so they're gonna start texting with each other. So they do. This person sends AI generated photos of a young Asian woman to this family member who happens to like young Asian women, which is beside the point. And then proceeds to tell him over a period of time that she's Chinese, who just got an American citizenship, and she's an heiress to a big Chinese fortune. Another giant red flag that anyone younger than 65 would look at and go, bullshit. But older people are incapable of this, especially ones that are being preyed on because they're old and lonely. Okay, conversation continues for a long time, and this person suggests that this boomer relative download WhatsApp so they can video chat. So the boomer relative does this and video chats with this person. This video chat was AI. It was an AI video chat. And I won't go into too many details. The amount of red flags in the video chat were insane, but that's beside the point. This was enough to convince my boomer relative that, oh, this is legitimate. This is really happening to me. Some random boomer just got contacted by this rich person and my life's about to change. Sorry if I'm getting a little amped up, but I'm pretty mad about this whole situation. So about this time, the boomer relative contacts me and tells me about this whole situation. And he's like, isn't this great? And I'm like, no, this is not great. This is clearly a scam. Don't do anything with this. Just stop communication altogether, delete, block, do whatever you've got to do. Just ignore it. It will go away. And he was like, oh, are you sure? How do you know? When boomers say this in this kind of situation, they're like, well, how do you know it's fake? It's because my intuition still works. And it's because my pattern recognition still works. And it's because, no offense at all intended, but no hot young Asian heiress to money is going to be going after you, you know? And I said this to my boomer relative, who I'm close to, like, you got to put your brain cells together and think really hard. Is this even remotely likely that this would happen? He agreed that it wasn't, but that's what made it so magical and fun. So I did a bunch of talking and convincing and looked up the phone number and like, hey, see, this number is commonly used to scam people. It's from Pakistan. Like, do not interact with this. So he agreed to stop interacting. Or so I thought. But because he's lonely and because this person knew what to say to him, he continued the conversation. I don't know what all exactly happened, but I do know that this boomer relative is now very heartbroken and really going through a deep depression over whatever happened. So I'm, of course, mad about this. But at the same time, I told him what was going on. He didn't listen. So he has since told me, oh, I was right, meaning me, and that it was all a scam. This same boomer relative will sit for hours out of each day scrolling Facebook and be like, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Isn't that crazy? Look at this picture. They're all AI. They're all AI pictures. And, you know, even now on these like pages on Facebook and stuff, they tell you where the poster is posting from. And he's like, look at this house. It's only $29,000. You and Jennifer should buy this house. It's some AI generated mansion in the middle of AI generated landscape. And the poster is from Macedonia or from Pakistan or from India, you know. And I'm like, why would an Indian have a real estate page on Facebook? And it just doesn't compute. It doesn't process to them. Like, this is not legitimate. This is going to sound funny, but I, once again, promise this is not intended to be funny. Boomer men, on average, they just want to have an orgasm again. That's what they want out of their life. They are at an age now where, on average, a lot of them have not had a sexual relationship in a long time, and they just want to orgasm. Being a man myself, I know how important an orgasm is, and I know how easily you can be swindled by the possibility of having an orgasm. Okay? I'm a man, I understand. But God has put into our biology a time limit for being able to be sexually active. And at a certain point, our body stops performing. It usually does this when it's time to, okay, let's not focus on that anymore. Let's turn our focus toward God, or let's turn our focus toward our family. Boomers really have a problem with this. They want to go on swinging cruises. They want to go spend every last little bit of their money having an orgasm somewhere. And this is very basic psychology that the AI now understands and is going to specifically target these people with all of this. Okay, so let's talk about boomer women for a second. They are swindled easily by their maternal instincts. They see cute pictures of babies and all this stuff. That's kind of rechanneling this maternal instinct to them, which seeing babies and seeing like young, cute kids and all of this stuff, that's in a weird way channeling their sexual psychology to want to procreate, because women, they have what they call baby fever. They see babies and they're like, oh God, I just wish I could have a baby again, or I wish my son was a baby just for one day so I could hold him again. You know, that's a wholesome feeling, but it's being used to manipulate you by a machine. And that's totally insane and very much evil, in my opinion. So this is where we're at with AI right now. The boomers are being absolutely lost. I am very much... I really hate to say this, but boomers really cannot be trusted with the internet anymore. It's left them long behind, and as I said, they're the first victims of AI. So this is going on right now, and I have a feeling this is going on a lot of places. So I would recommend that you check in on boomer relatives and make sure they're not sinking their money into AI using scammers. So this brings us to where's this going from here? As I said earlier, the AI looks at you as a computer that can be hacked. And it is going to compile all of this data from all of its interactions that it's having with people and all of the things it's watching, all of the things it's reading and learning, to completely understand us on a very individualistic level and know how to hack us individually, not just as a group. With the boomers, I think they are more susceptible to groupthink, so a lot of very broad-reaching concepts can affect multiple boomers at once. So the AI realizes this and can use that information. For instance, the I just want to have an orgasm concept, that affects all men pretty much, but especially boomer men that haven't had one in a while. That's going to be used against them. And that's going to be used to hack their psychology. I really need to make the video on the Vervaeke, Vanderklay, and Pageau talk on AI. I'm going to try to do that this week because they talk about this in a different way, but we're starting to interact with AI, whether we know it or not. And we're starting to interact with it. Some people are interacting with it as human, And some people are interacting with it as slave, meaning that we are thinking we are controlling it, so we treat the AI assistant as a slave. Do this, do that. You have no autonomy other than what I want, so you blah, blah, blah. That's training us to start interacting with something that interacts with us as human, as slave, as a non-autonomous entity. And that, I think, is going to branch out into all sorts of very, very bad things for the culture if we don't put a stop to it. So I guess that's all I'm going to talk about in this video, because, like I said, there's just so much more to this. But please, for the love of God, check in on your elderly boomer family and just be mindful of how they're interacting with AI, because there is a very strong chance that the AI is going to convince all of them that they deserve to sit around, have orgasms, and not do anything for the future. And I think this is going to end up with a lot of boomers sinking a lot of money into scams and basically not having anything left for their children. And this is what that's leaning into conspiracy a little bit, but they really want this. They want this to be the case, because the less money that the next generation has, the easier you're going to be able to be controlled. If you don't have a money or a job, you're going to want to get in on the universal basic income. And then you're going to want to get the AI corralling job or whatever it is. You know, I mean, there is a bunch of sick stuff going on right now, and it's super concerning, and everyone should be worried about it, and everyone should be paying attention. So, more videos on this subject coming up soon. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. God bless you. And we will see you in the next video.